This is Bill Cook, and I'm down here in Ag City, a little piece of heaven at Junction T and 7. And today, Kevin Halderman,
Halderman.
Halderman stopped by, and just wanted to shoot a little video with Kevin. And he's probably one of the few people that's been in the hemp side of the business here in Missouri for the longest. He's had a lot of relationships, tested a lot of markets, seen a lot of things. So thought we just get a chance to visit with Kevin, see what you're going through right here today and what you've seen in the past.
Well, that's a lot of loaded questions
Yeah,
there. Um, well, let's start off at the beginning and talk about some of the USDA money being defunded from some
yeah,
of these
yeah.
programs. Dr. Babu's program at Lincoln was defunded, and he had to cut a bunch of contract farms and everything, which was really sad. It didn't affect just us here in Missouri, but it affected some people in Kansas that he'd been working with also. So, that's what we were hit with right off the bat. And then the
Mm-hmm.
weather has been a real struggle, the rain, and just automatically drought conditions to downpours. There was no in the middle. So a lot of farmers are still late getting in the ground with a bunch of different crops. So farming's just farming. It's just difficult on the.
Farming, like we used to say, hemp ain't easy. Farming ain't easy either,
No, it is still farming.
right?
It is definitely still farming. So.
Well, Kevin, of course, you've been through this thing, and of course, we've seen all the. We haven't seen necessarily all the good things yet, but I think you're one of the few people in this industry that believes in the hemp industry. And whether it's regenerative ag or some of the things, of course, we put in this USDA research facility, and we're trying to get data and try to help farmers. And you just stuck your head in, and I really respect your opinion. One of the few people in Missouri, I really don't think is a BSer. I mean, we got a lot of BS in this industry. And Kevin, you've been one of those folks that, you just kind of call a spade a spade. And we were looking at these plots earlier and trying to figure out, why we may not be getting the yields. And you identified real quickly one of the key things that our farmers got to know, and that's, we were way too many males in those seed production.
Yeah,
You just might touch base on
yeah.
why that's important.
So, well, we're just talking about genetics overall, and we're still importing genetics from across the globe,
Hmm.
whether it's Australia variety or Polish or French or Chinese, which we should never import seeds from China
Sure,
ever.
sure, sure. Except
Um,
they really got good stuff. Yeah,
so, those genetics have been a problem. They've been very slow to roll out and be stabilized in this industry, and that seems to be a big issue. And the males die off faster. They
correct.
don't produce a good fiber because it's already retted at a different rate in the field than what the female plants are. And if our male rate is 40 to 60%, and you're trying to do seed, that's 60% potentially of the flower that is never going to flower
Sure,
in the
sure.
field to produce any type of seed or grain and everything. So genetics has been a big issue and a big hurdle in this industry. We're so climatized. The stuff that grows in South Dakota pretty good does not produce here well. Anything in the Southwest doesn't grow here at all either. They don't
Right,
like the
right.
humidity. Anything in the southeast that they're doing really well with, they don't like the sunlight and the extreme temperature we have here, along with the humidity. So
The
it's
plant
been the
is,
problem.
well, it's somewhat like if you were a soybean breeder and you have, you go north, you get ones and twos, and as you move south, it is a little bit sunlight, dark sunlight. It does affect the hemp plant, not exactly like soybeans, but it is a photosynthesis issue, and it seems to be like the farther south we go, like with soybeans, we might go to a group 6 or group 7, and that's what we're facing here. And I think you said it when we were out in the plot, just looking. We've been doing it 10 years, and yet we don't have one university that's ever delivered any genetics that will work for our farmers.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of research that's just really starting to come out, but again, we put all these farmers and their farm's at risk by asking them to grow a substandard crop.
Right,
We're
right,
not soybeans and corn. These are developed markets. You give them a longitude, a latitude, and somebody will tell you what grain to grow
right. That's
there.
correct.
And we don't have that opportunity in the hemp industry.
Well, the product's just not developed yet. That's exactly. So we're going to take a quick break here with Kevin and be right back in just a couple of minutes. Well, we wanted to just do a short commercial while Kevin was here, and we were so excited to see what's going on in the hemp industry. This piece that we're doing right now is something about um, the soil and how we can make the soil better. Kevin was one of those guys that did a lot. So as you're walking down here at Ag City, little piece of heaven at Junction T and 7, just a little ways from 49 Highway and down to 13, there's a strip along here. We have a lot of businesses, small businesses. And one of the things we're doing here is we have a USDA research facility. So this USC research facility, Daphne Cook and myself and a few others are working really hard on trying to find the values on how you could use hemp on your farms and in ways that will make your environment better and your soils better. So we just wanted to share a little bit of that, and I'm so happy to have Kevin here to do that. And so we're going to go right back to Kevin right now. Well, we're back with Kevin, and we're going to kind of finish up with if there is a bright spot, and there seems to be always a bright spot somewhere. But Kevin, we've been living through this tough times with the hemp or the cannabis plant itself, and some of the things that you've mentioned and we've gone through, with all the rules and regulations you've served, spent a lot of time lobbying, doing some other things down at the Capitol. And but as we see this industry, not just the hemp industry, not just the cannabis industry, but we see the industry and people looking at healthier food, better lifestyle, better quality of life, smaller farms. We do see some optimism and maybe having USDA and some of those things, we can piggyback on something that they want to do. But bucking with the federal government's just tough business.
Yeah, it really is difficult sometimes. The thing about the hemp industry and some of the smaller farms like you're talking about, even going to a homestead, you can look at some some of these farms looking to put in a little plot of hemp, to try to grow it out and everything. It's a great resource on the farm. I mean, the fiber content, it could go into your chicken coops just as easy as stalks. You don't even have to really do much to it.
Sure, absolutely.
The grain's a great value, and just improving that soil quality in that rotation with everything else could really be amazing too for some
Fantastic.
people.
Yeah, that's
And
fantastic.
with the USDA program that we got here in Missouri and now in Kansas, there's no application fees. You just get your background check, you get it done, you get a 3-year license, and you can be growing very, very efficiently and cheaply now with this
Well,
crop.
that's a big plus.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
big
huge,
plus. So,
huge.
so if some person wants to try out and get started, what would be your best suggestion for them to, have the hemp in their mix, whether it's in the corn rotation or in rotation or to harvest a little bit of that product? I know we harvested here, and we finally found a sweet spot, and that is in the mulch. And I know that you're working on a sweet spot, trying to figure out where it's going. You've not given up on the hemp yet.
No, not at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Not at
So why are you so dang optimistic? What's
there's more and more research that comes out about how beneficial it is for soil improvements, carbon amendments, all of that biomass being left back into the ground. It is a huge carbon sequester.
uh
And we're talking about all this green. There's nothing more green than cannabis.
That's right. That's
Uh,
right.
so that should be put into people's rotation. It really
Sure.
should probably be looked at. My first suggestion, anybody that wants to get into this industry, depending on the farm and the acreage and the tolerability for loss that a farm can sustain, I would never plan on doing anything that I couldn't lose money on that acreage.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Doesn't matter. It. This is a personally satisfying crop, but that doesn't put money in your bank account.
Right. Right. right,
and so that farm has to know up front that what loss they can withstand.
right, right.
You can't even get USDA insurance unless you have 25 acres, I believe,
Right.
20 or 25 acres. Uh, Find a producer that's in your area that will contract you with 25 acres, and then you can get the insurance on it. That would make a difference. If you don't have a producer within 150 miles, it's an unprofitable crop if
Mm-hmm.
you're going to transport it.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to believe in it and want to move it farther than that.
So basically, I think what you're saying is you're going to have to partner with some people with like type minds
Yeah.
that have some assets that you can pool together if you really want to stay and get in and get your feet wet, so to speak, in the hemp industry, whether it's CBD or whether it's fiber or whether it's grain or whatever it is, unless you can get an industry to move in your area that will actually contract and pay you for it as a grower, then fighting this battle alone is just a pretty lonesome thing.
It's impossible to do. It's not
Yeah,
been done yet. I
yeah,
haven't seen a successful way to do it
yeah,
yet.
yeah. Well, with that in mind, I guess the thing I can close with, just come on down to Junction T and 7. We'll have a little piece of heaven right here on Ag City, and that's what we're trying to do. We got about 12 or 15 businesses here at Ag City, and we're trying to do exactly what you just said. We're trying to put our energy together where we can synergize off of one another and go to the retail market. Let people that really want to see how agriculture works and what we have to do come down to the farm and experience it.
Yeah, I
So,
appreciate the time, Bill.
well,
It was
Kevin, thanks
great.
for being
Yeah,
here
I
and
appreciate it.
good luck in this year and what all you're doing in the hemp industry.
Thanks. You too. All the best.
Bye bye.